Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, you are now rocking with the best. You are now entering into A-Deuce territory. Comprised of Supernova Slum, Say Medicine Man, I stand the Duke of Tears. Been here for about 1 billion years. But we're about to get right into it right now. So yeah, Supernova Slum, let the bricks hear. Your hands no idea. But it's just for us to get here. Grand name of center, grand representative. Southside, more something planet Brooklyn. Killing and killing my rhythm is spinning. I'm beating you haters is where from. Wait up for AR, us natives, no fakers. Salute us, maneuver us, so sonic women group us. Who us, Supernova Slum, you can see it's seven. All in our here, we the warriors men. On the Southeast clan, swing and expand. Let's fight brain, think about it, come again. Up, I'm in, go play gangsta with the God on my side. Make the dead come alive. 8-2-3-2, my eyes 4-2, pie hair root. Heat up from the beat up, get the skeleton to the streets. BPG, suck, hey, you know what it is, what it is. It's a systematic it's the king, 2 guns, 2 minutes with the bad chicks on them things they live. Hey, you know what it is, what it is. It's a systematic it's the king, 2 guns, 2 minutes with the bad chicks on them things they live. Myself, my name is Alexyss. Cause I'm a boot to tears, and I've been here for years. And now I'm about to cold rock, shock your ears, and make your pain disappear like it wasn't even there. Listen to my words and the problem of it here. Improve, it's like I'm there, taking away your fear that you thought was out there. It was really in here. Get ferocious like a bear, but I'm gentle like a dove. I always come prepared, cause I come from up above. Just a floodlight, like I'm Morpheus. Live my life victorious, just as big as I can. Control the crowd with my hands, make the dumb understand that it's the Duke of Tears and it's the medicine. Turn a whack jam into American bandstand. Have the party people doing handstand in Roseland. A's up, you know what it is, what it is. It's a systematic it's the king, 2 guns, 2 minutes with the bad chicks on them things they live. A's up, you know what it is, what it is. It's a systematic it's the king, 2 guns, 2 minutes with the bad chicks on them things they live. A's up, you know what it is, what it is. It's a systematic it's the king, 2 guns, 2 minutes with the bad chicks on them things they live. A's up, you know what it is, what it is. It's a systematic it's the king, 2 guns, 2 minutes with the bad chicks on them things they live.
Peace, human families of the planet Earth. What's up, man? It's your boy, your host, Alexyss K Tylor, giving you a shout out, along with my co-host, Selena, the Empress of 10,000 Years, my son, Amor, my brother, Saga Assad, and inshallah tonight we'll be again visited by the empowerment goddess, the one and only Alexyss K Tylor, to finish out our part 4 of our discussion that we've been going in. And what I'm seeing just in my own life, man, I'm seeing how when you shake the bush, how you rattle the bushes, you know, you startle the snakes, man. And there's a lot of that stuff going on, you know what I mean? But on some real shit, man, I just want to say thank you to those people who always been holding us down and go into situations in which we are always held down, you know, because when you really are doing things from your perspective, or let's say your only perspective, and you are working to maintain the integrity of whatever your project or whatever your protocol is, just as you have all of the energy and impetus to do what you need to do, when you make $3, you got at least 5 or 6 other people trying to take them $3 from you. They're working just as hard to do that. So don't feel, you know, like a lot of the work that you've done or the things that you've put in, invested time in, or even people that you've invested time in, if it hasn't manifested how you want, don't let it get you down or get you so downtrodden to the point that you start looking at yourself and trying to almost make excuses for other people's behavior based upon them not being forthright with you. You know what I'm saying? You got to really do the knowledge to the fact that when you're in situations of deep spiritual transcendence. You can be in situations in which the reality itself will begin to try to bend and thwart your efforts, man. And saying this because I've watched it happen to me today. You know what I mean? But specifically speaking, it becomes a situation in which people are the type that create the situations that sometimes perpetuate us to be able to build on that. You know, I've had people, you know, we get a lot of love, but even in the correspondences that I don't get love or people are not happy with what it is we building on, I'm really striving not to take those things personally, and at the same time let those people know, whoever they may be, that regardless of what you feel about me, regardless of what you want to try to create, sometimes, you know, our people will create problems with each other just not to fuck with each other. But whatever that reason is or whatever that social strata is that's making these people be like that, I just want you to know that in this life, I'm striving to not have any enemies. I'm not striving to have any negative. Well, excuse me, that's not true. I'm striving not to promote negativity toward my brothers and sisters. So even though sometimes the things I may say may come off harsh to people, or people may feel like, you know, we're just running off out the mouth or whatever, that you're free to feel that. But just know that none of that is going to stop what I'm doing, and none of that is going to stop what I've been sent here to do. Not by any in particular entity or God or anything like that, but what I feel divinely in my own mind, in my own heart, and in my own soul. And nobody can take that from you. So whenever you're in a situation and you feel like things are just bogging you down and all of that, just know that that is evidence of the fact that you are putting in so much work into this reality, no, I didn't. Situations as they stand. Just know that the worse the shit gets and crazy it seems, or the more it's like no matter you take 3 steps up and it's like 5 steps back, just know that that means that you're whipping this reality's ass, and it is working overtime to shut down what it is you're doing because of the effect that you may not see, but know that it is there, and know that everything that you are doing, everything we're building on is not in vain. You are not all of the negative shit that they say about you every day. You are not. I just want to end it. You know what I'm saying? It's created a situation in which people can't do the knowledge.
I'm on Flash Chat. Just tell everybody, I'm trying to get the regular chat room open, but I've never seen a Flash Chat before, and I'm doing my best, okay? It's okay. I'll just close it out and start it all over again. Okay.
Specifically speaking, though, like I said, whenever you're in that situation, do so, you know. And just know that people who consider themselves critics or critical of you or situations like that are really only commenting on something that you've actually done. And most of the time, these people who call themselves critics or call themselves people who are you know, on the outside of what you're doing, a lot of times them people are not initiative in anything, so therefore they put themselves in a position to be used and to hate on you. So because they don't initiate nothing, they're going to hate on people who do. So again, a lot of times what I'm seeing now is as we've started this whole thing, moment is getting back. Because we started this whole thing, we've created a situation where people are actively participating in their own. I have to get the charger. Never enough. Look out for Alexyss's number for me, please. So there's never enough hours in a day. There's never enough time to get everything done. So, again, when you are really your own self-contained machine, you know, it can take a while to manifest. So I'm just trying to put it out as a word of encouragement to everybody else, because the day was a very, very trying day for me in particular. But specifically speaking, at the end of the day, which this is, it's more about what it is we take from the lesson and what it is we do with it the next day, more so than letting us beat us down to do this. You know what I mean? So like I said, all those people that's been holding us down, all of those people that's been out there and sending me, you know, words of encouragement, sending the Queen words of encouragement and all of that. And even the people who may not want to send that, you know what I mean? I want to send you love and light, because nobody is one thing in this reality, man. And anybody who wants to try to convince you that they are totally pious and totally without fault is lying to you. Anybody who tries to say that they've never been under mind control or could never be under mind control, most likely is under mind control right then when they're telling you that shit. You know what I'm saying? Your first instinct is the real instinct. Don't doubt it, because the more you doubt it, the more you create a benefit for someone else to come up off of that doubt. And that's not necessarily the vibration that you need to be on right now. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, as we always start with the current event. I just wanted to bless by the Lord's Revolution Army, which is a CIA, Mossad connected militia group of allegedly, let's say, 100 people, 100 to 200 people, which means that it's probably double that. Let's say 100 advisors from the UN or whatever, and then the rest of them is implementing the problem. These people are going through and literally killing Sunni Muslims, black Sunni Muslims, and burning them up. But again, this is black people doing this to black people on the behest of Caucasoid people and Jewish Mossad agents that are training them to, again, destabilize the Central African Republic mainly, but all of the neighboring countries around that. They're trying to create a spiral effect, because the plan is that Hollywood has basically been promised elements of the so-called African continent. So certain stars are attributed to certain nations, if you've noticed. You see Madonna's in Malawi, and George Clooney is in the Sudan. That happened to just be split down the middle now, and that is in North and South Sudan, just like there was in North and South Korea. So at the time when the world's supposed to be coming together, allegedly, they're still breaking it apart. What's his name is caught up in Kenya, Bill Clinton and the rest of these people. So whenever I see these things, the only people I see helping the Africans is these white people, these white humanitarian aid people, and all of these white humanitarian people. And I will be general and say that all of them are down with the complicit energy of retarding the genetic process of the so-called African peoples of that continent. And these African peoples, based upon whatever recolonialization or decolonialization they've gone through, are not hip enough or not wise enough to see what they are participating in. You understand? Like, the level of mind control that's going on over there is just as sick as what's going on over here, but over there it's on a level of crazy barbarism. The Mossad agents got them people over there cutting off black people's lips, cutting off their breasts, cutting off the tips of their penises, cutting off the labias. These are all genetical. These are all parts of the body that hold a certain degree of genetic information that is then downloaded and processed through the petri dish or whatever they do with it after. And the thing is, you cut somebody's lips off, that never heals. You cut somebody's eyelids off, that never heals. You understand? So they are totally dismembering people, dismembering black people, burning black people, genocidally, hundreds of bodies. Don't believe me? Go online. Somebody just posted one. Brother, peace to Free Soul Evolution, man. He put it up there and showed an image that they downloaded of hundreds of bodies burnt. Black people. These ain't white people doing this to them. This is them doing that to each other. So when I say that black people are more savage with each other right now than the white man has ever been with us, people look at me like I'm on some, bigging white people up, and this don't have nothing to do with them. I'm just trying to bring out the juxtaposition between what is seen as humanitarian aid and what is actually a form of militaristic conquest. This whole shit in Africa is about forcing the United States out. We've been talking about them invading Nigeria from last year. We've been talking about that shit. Now they just starting to bring this up in the news. And this is what's going down. Now all of a sudden this nigga want to send more troops now into Africa. But at the same time, the people in Syria is dying. At the same time, the people in Libya, again, The so-called Libyans that's running around with red, black, and green flags with the gold crescent and star, again, barbecuing, burning Africans, cutting their heads off, scalping them, raping the women, shooting the babies. This is Libyan people doing this to black people who happen to have come into Libya through the whole Gaddafi situation. So no doubt there were certain African people who were bagged up by Gaddafi and then put in his army and was sent out to kill all the Libyans, but that ain't every black person that's in there. So specifically speaking, what I'm saying is this is a telltale ploy because of most of our people are apathetic to this shit. Most of our people want to talk about trivial shit that has nothing to do with getting us out of the situation we in. I don't give a damn how many paperwork or whatever you file, son. You are dealing with a lawless creature of law. You understand? You don't understand what a creature of law is? Get a Black's Law Dictionary between the first and the fourth edition. And then if you can't get that one, get one from either the 6th to the 7th. Everything after that is bullshit. But specifically, a creature of law is anything that's created through an artificial purpose to perpetuate itself. The government is not there to help you. So anybody that's joining the government, anybody that's joining the police, anybody that's joining the army, you got to look at yourself and why you're doing it. You got to analyze your actions and find out if you are thinking your thoughts or you are being prepped to think those thoughts. We do not take the shit that's happening to us in the full context of what it means. We're not doing the knowledge to it. We're creating a situation in which we are not taking responsibility for our own individual thoughts and what those thoughts are creating in this world. In my opinion, this devil's already lost, and you've heard me say it on the show many times. In his opinion, the devil already done. He don't already lost his power. He been done lost. What's keeping him here is us, man. It's us. The real, authentic, original people who have come to depend on this nigga. As much as he want to kill black people and as much as these devils want to destroy us and totally maim and massacre us and all of that, these niggas do not want to have no society or no world with us not in it. Can you imagine, again, a world where there was no original people in it, no black people like us? There would be no world. If we was to right now force this dude to give back everything that he got from us, do you understand that there would be no so-called white man, there would be no Caucasian people? These people come out of, when I said they come out of, or come out of you, this is something that we allowed to take place in this reality. And half of our family was with it, and half of our family wasn't. I happen to represent half of the family that wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, I don't ever feel like I have to join up or be a part of or induct or take an oath or be initiated or do a ritual to. All of that shit is crazy. You are your ancestors' return. You are the god and the goddess. Therefore, you dictate your level of involvement in this realm, in this reality. Therefore, if you dictate your involvement in this reality so much that you got to take the blood of another entity to appease another entity, you a slave. You heard? You a slave. Because the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God is within. Therefore, everything that we need to get, everything that we need to get popped off is within us already. We was already born with it. It's physical reality, Western society, Grand Orient society, Freemasonic society that tells you that the world is not enough. All these people in the Occupy movement, all of that is a ritual, man. I've been telling you that they've been trying to mind control you and put you back in the time warp, to put you back in the 60s, put you back in the 50s when niggas was marching for shit. Everybody know anybody who marched for nothing don't get nothing. You know why they had to agree to the civil rights movement and give niggas a little bit of something? Because niggas was burning the country down. We was burning it down. Burn Hollywood, burn. Now it's about going in Hollywood to get your burn. You see what I'm saying? Going to Hollywood to get that movie. going to Hollywood to do that instead of trying to find a way to make your own movies. Remember the era in which black film cinematographers started coming out the woodwork? What happened? They started regulating all of that stuff, and they started marginalizing all of those black brothers by saying that these are black films. And then the brothers and sisters started realizing that they got to start making types of films that people are used to. And then we all devolved into this stereotypical thing in which we keep regurgitating the same archetypes in these movies. And then you wonder why our society, our community ain't going nowhere. Niggas are still making records about selling crack. Niggas are still making records about that. But niggas ain't making records about how you got some brothers that's walking around here. Other day, I'm online and I'm going surfing, and I come across pictures of my son, on another nigga website. And then one nigga walking with him on the website talking about, oh, this is I'm like Aries' bodyguard. Of course. Because from the time that this boy was 7, they have been working on him. And I'm just using my son as an example and to show you that regardless of how much you know and how much you can do, that sometimes you still have to go through certain things in this physical reality based upon the decisions that other people make that involve you in. From 7 years old, they've been trying to redirect this boy and turn him away from me so he could be with everyone else in the world but me. But I'm not special. This is what they do to the black man in general in this society. Why do you think? You think that every black man, once he get a baby, don't want to be with his kids? That's what they got women thinking. As soon as I have this nigga baby, it's a wrap. How is it that it's so disproportionate that as soon as you have a baby with somebody, after 6 months into the baby being here, the woman moved back home with the mother, and then the guy, he got to be out and then got to go to court and all. This is a ritual that we are participating in and perpetuating amongst ourselves. Ain't nobody forcing niggas to go to family court. Regardless of how bad it is, it's going to get worse. And again, I'm using this as an example because unlike a lot of people, I will use my personal experiences as a means to bring it to the forefront because I ain't got nothing to hide from nobody. Alexyss?
Hey.
Hey, Queen.
How are you
Peace
doing?
to the empowerment goddess, Alexyss K Tylor. How you doing, Queen? Thanks for coming on.
I'm fine. I thank you for your show and the work you do, and people enjoy you so much coming on my show. We just hated that we had so many problems with the phones. They couldn't hear everything that you said.
That's how you know we're doing something right.
Yeah, that's happened to a lot of people on there. Yep.
You know, because I've heard, what I've heard of, you know, people telling me, like, nah, I've been on shows and listened to it, and people be talking, poet Christ said, they show will never go out. He said, but the minute y'all start talking about certain things, all of a sudden did somebody just go to sleep on a computer console and nobody can hear you.
Okay.
You know? But, no, I was doing the knowledge also to build on what we were building on last week, and on Saturday before we got cut off is in terms of what you were bringing to the forefront in terms of this whole transhumanist, new age, green movement, theosophic, Nazi, zeitgeist, Occupy agenda that they got everybody down with now. And you were saying how they got this whole this war, this Agenda 21 war that's going on against specifically the gender and polarity of young black boys and young black girls. Can you go into that?
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you were doing the history side because you balanced me out because I have to learn all the details about the history of it. And I'm learning about, please, if it's not too late, put it on my page because I didn't get to put the link up
yes,
here.
ma'am, I will.
You can come over here. Like you were going into the history of the Catholic Church, and you know, and we even had, like I showed you that Egyptian gay priest. I wanted to get your feedback on that.
Yes, I saw him. Yes, I saw him.
He's doing those chants and the Egyptian chants. He said he was trained in Egypt, and he's also an Egyptian voodoo priest. There are a lot of gay voodoo priests. And see, I actually heard a video where he said the first oracle in Egypt was a homosexual.
and that women, everybody would go to homosexuals as an oracle. And Aseer, I'm kind of confused about that. I don't believe that, because if a black woman is the oldest woman on the planet, we're millions of years older than men.
Why would they go to a man?
I'm trying. Why would God make the first, or our creators make the first oracle a homosexual? That's what I'm not saying they're not homosexual.
That's the case, how come they're not the majority now? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, if it don't make common sense, it ain't gonna add up, you know. And as much as a lot of us see, what I am seeing with the homosexual thing is that people are using it as a justification to be deviant and fornicate. If you want to have sex with a man and you're a man, you want to have sex with a woman, you're a woman, that's your business. I'm not getting into that. What I am talking about is the fact that they are now perpetuating an idea to try to do this revisionist history thing, to try to make me and my children accept the fact that Asar was gay, Set was a dyke, right? That's what you want. That's what I got to accept in order for me to be spiritually advanced. I have to accept the fact that I have to worship an androgynous God, when everything in this reality shows me that everything comes in the form of a male and a female, which them create that. Where's all these gay people coming from? These gay people are coming from straight people, right? Allegedly. But what I'm thinking is that a lot of these people that's making these babies who happen to be straight ain't that.
Right.
Because you outwardly project what you naturally are. So if you naturally are homosexual, but you want to appear to be heterosexual, then you will do things to become, let's say, the most heterosexual guy you can be. So when I see niggas that's the most swolled up and the most bigged up and the most jail and the most hood and want to be out there shooting dice all the time, to the point where it's like you can't even have a conversation without it revolving around what bitch you having sex with, or what nigga you doing this, or what guy you ride, or whatever. That to me is gay. That to me is more gay now than it used to be. But at the same token, what I'm peeping is the whole thug thing. Remember when the thug thing came out? To me, this was all a ways to go back and disrespect or destroy the legacy of what this brother was trying to create, which was back in the days when you seen these heavy hardcore gangbanging niggas or whatever, we didn't think about homosexuality. What made us start to look at these brothers as gay and stuff like that was all of the Hollywood and movie roles that started to come out, where you had these big, black, strong, strapping black men who happen to be gay on the low. And then what happens is this becomes characterized in the community now, because a lot of brothers is looking at that like, yo, I'm kind of like that. So this must be okay. It's like a child. If a child see you doing something and you tell them not to do it, but you keep doing it, eventually they're going to be like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do. So that's what I'm saying with it. My problem is the whole militaristic aspect, and you're trying to now convince me that if I don't want my son to be homosexual or be hit on by a homosexual, something's wrong with me. It's crazy.
Baby, let me tell you this, because I've been peeping this shit for a long time. There's several things I've been noticing here. First of all, when these so-called conscious black folks and African-based folks talking about homosexuality never existed before white folks came into Kemet, I do not believe that. If we are the oldest, most wisest, strongest people, have the first technology, and we really had underground cities where we were actually producing steel and actually had guns, and we had technology before the Asians did. The Europeans really did not get the first original bullets from the Asians. If we were all of that, why would our man be so weak to get fucked in his ass when a Roman come to town? I just don't believe that. Because
How do you get so weak? Well, we couldn't fight.
This is what I'm saying. It's just bothering me. See,
that's what I'm saying.
This is what I noticed, because I grew up, my mother's a preacher, all these people are preachers in my family, male and female, healers, prophets, seers. When I saw this spirit, it was a homosexual, a lesbian, a bisexual, and a child molesting spirit is in almost everybody's family. In everybody's black family, you can tell me somebody you know that's a gay, somebody you know that's a closet dyke, or everybody perceives them to be, because we're more psychic and spiritual people on the family. They ain't saying it, but we know that our cousin Larry, every time he comes to parties and events, he always bring a nigga. We ain't never seen him with no girl.
I had an uncle named Aunt Charlie.
All of us got them, and what I'm saying is this is a very prevalent, very cunning shape, spirit, I would even say entity and deity that moves through, it shapeshifts, it moves through portals in time. And what we don't realize is, see, this is what I'm saying. Women need to wake the fuck up and get on your fucking business. Get on your fucking game. Because we have been undereducated, miseducated, misdirected, and pulled so far, flipped out, looking at these men that we supposed to be led by, supposed to be protecting us and watching us to guide us and teach us, and they're leading us into a path of damnation, destruction, and hell because they sold out, bow down, and will basically manipulate and negotiate their mind, their mouth, and their motherfucking butthole for power, fame, money, a job, connections to be in certain secret societies. And that's what I've seen since I was a little girl, and I could not speak about these things. This spirit is a shape-shifting, very wise spirit energy, deity, and it obviously holds the knowledge of the female. Because when you really look at these beings, they're always getting the most attention and most sexually desirable and make the most money when they're using a butthole. They call it a mangina, a booty pussy.
That's right.
And they are dressing
like
or getting.
That's what they call it too.
Yeah, they're getting surgery and injections to appear as a female. Like when I showed you that Egyptian gay priest, he lives here in Atlanta. From what they told me, he is very wealthy, married to a white man, and he has gay voodoo priest initiation and spiritual classes. See, this is what I'm saying. They are embodied with a homosexual spirit, and a lot of times they are embodied with a female.
Them big-ass balls. Remember those big balls he had around his neck?
Big balls. He sit up there with makeup, a full face of makeup, eyeliner and shit, and you can tell he's possessed. If you really look at him,
you can see
a lot of these people are possessed with a female spirit, a dead spirit, or a dead female entity, or a female god or serpent reptilian god that has come to these people and come. That's why y'all need to watch your children. You need to watch the man you screw to get pregnant with. You need to watch your hormones and your diet while you're pregnant, because it could be a boy and your estrogen is imbalanced, so it come out saying that he's a girl and feeling has the mind and energy of a girl. But I'm telling you, because I went through this as a little child, so that's why I cannot completely condemn them, because I know how smart and slick that spirit is. That spirit will start possessing and talking to them little children when they 2, 3, and 4 years old. Like, you think your children are lying when they say they have imaginary friends? Alexyss, I know this for a fact.
I had one. I remember the one that used to try to visit me. There was one that used to try to visit me when I used to live in the crib, and it was what I called it. This is what I called them. I called them Hot Water Harry for some reason, and I'll never forget it. I remember I was in my bed. We used to live on Kosciuszko Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and I was in the bed, and one night it was mad late, and all I seen was this real big, lanky, seemed like a black man, but I wouldn't say he was black, but it was like that. But he was very lanky, and the way that it moved, it moved almost like, you ever drive past like a gas station, and they'll have those big rubber or plastic blow men that kind of like just move around because it's got like water in them. You know what I'm talking about? Or air in it. You know what I'm talking about? It's almost like a balloon. It's almost like a big water balloon, the way that it moved. But what I remember was that whenever we would come in the room would get mad hot. And I don't remember anything else other than the initial seeing it and then going under the covers. But one night in particular, I remember it came in and it was trying to like almost grabbed the cover or grabbed me or whatever, and it was mad hot in the room. But my mother, when I would tell her about it, she would never accept that was real. That is like what happened. This night, though, she came in the room because I screamed. She came in the room, and the first thing she said was, damn, why is it so hot in here? But the thing is, the radiator was off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. From that point on, when I saw that she did the knowledge to the temperature, I knew that she seen what it was, but she still didn't accept that what I was saying was true. But at that point, I made, and I can remember it, I made the decision to be like, nah, I can't tell her everything. That's when I knew, and I never seen the nigga again. You see what I'm saying? But who's to say that was not a basic entity that was put or attached to my family based upon the rituals that my grandmother, whoever else was doing, based upon their little Easter Star shit and everything else.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. That shit is deeper than that. You seen it one time and it left you. Those types of beings, I would see them. And see, people don't watch their children to see what their child is, what their child's going to be. They don't even know their fucking self. A lot of these women just walking around here pregnant. Done fucked a nigga you don't know. You don't know nothing about his mama, nothing about his daddy. His mama could have been a damn dyke. The daddy could have been a cross-dresser. His daddy could have been making him. Because let me tell you what's going on here. See, we just like what the point I was making about first was I go into this, how they do these children, these entities do. A lot of these men that you think are educated that have sons and they take Masonic oaths, a lot of them men are sick. And a lot of them will teach a lot of these men will teach their sons to suck their dicks. When they're 6, 7, 8 years old, a lot of black men will have boys growing up sucking their dicks because a preacher lady told me she had a lady that she was counseling, and she was married to this man. He already had a little boy, the boy about 8 or 9 years old. Something told her to go down in the basement. The daddy, this is his natural daddy, had the boy, he was in the basement in a chair, had the boy going down on him, making the boy suck his dick. And he had been making the boy suck his dick for a long time, growing up, teaching him how to milk the cum out of his fucking dick. And this lady had no idea that this boy, and the man said that his daddy had done it to him. It's other cases I have been told where there's a lot of men that like to go to the park, a lot of homeless men. They really don't want to get in the house. They like being homeless because they prey on other men, and they prey on young boys, and they like to oil up, wrestle in the park, and dominate another man or a boy and take their manhood from them, and they get turned on by it's like a gladiator-style wrestling. That's why one of my
that's exactly what it is. It's pedestry. It's another form of the Catholic shit they've been doing.
It's a homosexual ritual from Rome where they use them games. The Romans play them games, and it's all about homosexual shit and dominating niggas and teaching niggas to be indoctrinated by taking showers and baths of looking at a man's asshole. And you realize some of these
that's all of that patting your ass on the baseball field. That's all of that when LeBron James grabbed what's his name on the floor and then put his penis all in his face. And all of that type of shit, like, it be evident. I got pictures of basketball niggas coming out of the showers holding each other's hand. Like, this is what it is. But then these is the niggas that's out here trying to act like they these strong, powerful, role model black men that's out here that all of these women is planning to have a baby by and all this other shit, and all of these niggas is under control. Tell me what somebody like Warren Buffett got in common with somebody like LeBron James, other than the fact they got money. Nothing.
No,
that's his handler. That's his handler. That's what I'm trying to say.
Just the only way that you're going to be. That's the only way you're going to. I just want to get all this out while it's in my mind. That's the only way that you're going to be empowered, because they pick a lot of those people to be celebrities of today or actors or presidents when they're little. There's already rituals done, and this man that was dominating these men in the park, he said when he was a young boy, he went to visit his daddy. His daddy told him to go to the barn. And when he went out to the barn, his daddy raped him in his ass and left him out there. Just brutally fucked him in his ass and left him. And he was so angry and so traumatized, and the daddy didn't explain, didn't take him to get medical care, nothing. So obviously somebody had done it to him. He did his son that way, and now his son is homeless, drug addict, bisexual, in the park, dominate, tearing other niggas' assholes out. This is a spirit that's obviously in this man, and he knew if this child was a boy, there was going to be a certain time he was going to initiate that boy in that ritual, and that's an implantation
into the ritual.
Yeah, implantation
so why
of the spirit.
why would, let me ask you this, Queen, not to even cut your wisdom, because you're going in right now. Let me ask you this. So if that's the case, right, why would a man who is heterosexual, who is, about his being or whatever, and let's say is cultural, why would he, having certain knowledge, know and hear about these aspects of what this type of organization contributes to the world, why would they still put themselves in the situation to be a part of that? Knowing,
I don't think
or
a lot
not
of them
knowing
know.
the aspect of it.
A lot of them don't know. Like a lot of the Masons, a lot of the Shriners, it's like, especially if they black, they only get the outer layer of the knowledge. A lot of them, and see, that's another thing I want to talk about, too, that people need to be aware of and people need to teach their boys about, because another man also told me about that shit. On the college campuses and even with the gang members, a lot of the boys that want to join these gangs now, they got to get fucked in the ass or get a dick sucked off a nigga's dick.
I heard that.
If they don't do it, they can't get in the gang. And this married lady said that her husband was getting ready to be initiated as a Mason. So they went to this building or the hall where the other guy had took him in and chose him to initiate him. She said he went in the room with the other man to do the initiation. She waited for him to come out. She said when the nigga came out, he was buttoning his shirt up and shit and adjusting his pants. And she asked him, why are you buttoning your clothes up? Why your clothes down? He told her that it was hot during the initiation and he got the coughing and needed some air, so he unbuttoned his shirt and his pants. And said the other nigga, had stayed in. He didn't come out right then. He came from behind and he was adjusting. I said, because he sucked that man dick. To get initiated as a Mason in the Masonic order, that's a lot of ritual, and a lot of the gay boys are telling me, because a lot of the gay boys that I talk to are very intelligent, and they work and they go to school. They're in college. He told me that he wanted to join this particular sorority. He already know that one of the guys he talks to in the sorority, he said he can tell by their walk, is all a secret signal and a spiritual code. See, gay people are very spiritual. Just like I had said in the show we did Saturday, because they got this feminine spirit on them. A lot of them possessed with a female spirit or even a male spirit that will reincarnate. Some of those spirits are masters. Some of those spirits are magicians. I'm telling you what I know, Aseer, because I talked to a lot of them. A lot of those homosexuals, that's why these women need to wake the fuck up and these men to wake the fuck up, because these men, these gay men are trying to replace us, and they're trying to replace feminism.
That's what they're doing.
And a lot of these men do black magic. A lot of these homosexuals have been initiated by Bilal, initiated voodoo priests. They have their secret rituals where they fuck each other and where they teach each other that they're better than a woman and they want to take the place of a woman. And if they cannot do it naturally, they will do it supernaturally and through the type of sexual rituals that they do in the sorority. So most of them guys in the sororities are homosexual or bisexual. And he says a lot of these men talking about they cute dog and they hard with the muscles in the sororities. These niggas will fuck their way in to these damn college sororities and the Masonic lodges through letting another nigga fuck them in the ass, not because they had to, but because they was gay any fucking way, or niggas in the sorority was bisexual. And the gay guy also told me all of the gay men and all the men in the sororities are not gay, because he said that it was some straight men that knew that some of the sorority fraternity guys were bisexual, but they wasn't going to say nothing. He says they did not participate in fucking them boys in, but they knew that it was going on, and they just stayed out of it because they didn't. He said some of them do not fuck men. They do not suck dick. They do not let no man suck them or fuck them. They straight. But like you had said, they know that this is a part of it, but they get in it for the camaraderie, the benefits. They know in the future you want a bank job, you want a political job. We basically know that's who control it. They don't want to gay bash. They don't want to be perceived as a gay basher. And they know that basically all of these fraternities, political institutions, schools, banks, everything is infiltrated with closet homosexuality.
And that's what nobody wanted. And that's what nobody want to do the knowledge to add on to what you're saying. Nobody wants to accept the fact that this is pervasive in all aspects of Western society, of what we consider quote unquote white society. This is the basis of how their society functions. Like, I used to believe growing up, it was a good thing not to get locked up and not go to jail or whatever. Somewhere along the line, I realized quite later as an adult no, this whole thing is set up to get me to go there so that way I can get one of them homosexual spirits on me and they can try to do this aspect. So you have a lot of people, again, just based on what you're saying, that's in the conscious community right now. You understand? That have done long bids, who have been in situations where they have been isolated and cut away, who have been put in psychiatric facilities, psychiatric homes to get tooled up and come back out and start to talk to you about spirituality. But what happens is we as black people is like sometimes we just accept anything. It's like whatever. If the nigga sounds good, then let's fuck with it. I know this nigga Barack ain't really for black people, but you know what? He melanated, so I'm going to rock with him. Okay, that's cool to get him in there, but what happens when this nigga basically starts to provoke the legislation to lock your ass up? Does it matter then? No. Because a lot of times what I'm seeing is that this whole thing is based upon that. It's based upon the illusionary aspect of this reality and how justification becomes the reason that a lot of these people participate in that. And a lot of it, too, is the fact that when you join these groups and these different things, what people don't understand is that in order for any lodge to be consecrated, especially through the Scottish Rite and G7, which is connected to England, in order for any lodge to get consecrated, there is always an entity, daemon, god, or goddess invoked at the beginning of the cornerstone celebration or commemoration of the lodge. So, therefore, if you don't know what demon or entity was invoked in that lodge before you join it, what happens is you become the latest tentacle on the octopus. You become the latest person that now has to provide souls for this thing to feed on. And if you don't, then you wind up being the fucking meal. And that's how it works. In regards to how enlightened niggas are and all of that stuff, because I know a lot of good brothers that happen to be involved in masonry and stuff like that, and I really hope that they're not engaging in all of that. But I will say this. Regardless to whatever the reason, regardless to whatever you did, regardless to whatever you felt you had to do to get into that, once you're there, it is your responsibility as a sentient, conscious person, when you see some shit going awry, you got to either break out of that or seek help on the outside. To the point I met a Mason, right, who said that he had to escape the lodge. He had to escape. And he found it, right? He ran from that. He said it was so demonic. He ran from that and created a group to help Masons who want to get out, called Masons for Jesus, who help get Masons who want to defect out of the shit. Because it's the gang, it's the mafia. It's all based on the same premise. You're either with us or you against us. When you choose to be down with us, you got the choice. Once you choose, though, you in. There is no getting out. This is your soulmate. So when you hear these people, these women talking about, I'm looking for my soulmate, that's another name for the entered apprentice who goes into the ritual with you. And according to the Skull and Bones ritual, after that, y'all get to a point, y'all got to sit in the coffin, and then you got to jerk off and tell him all your secret, deviant secrets, sexual secrets, and then after that, he do that. Then both of y'all jump out of the casket into the mud and make these niggas mud wrestle. This is where mud wrestling comes from. They get them down into the mud because the mud represents the primordial matter. It also represents feces, right? And it also represents dark matter in the sense of energy. So then what happens is they got to wrestle in the mud, and then whoever gets pinned, meaning gets stuck, right, pinned, stuck like Yakub sticks the pin in the baby's head, Whoever gets stuck then whoever gets pinned 1, 2, 3 on the ground, the one who was pinned got to take it in the butt. Then the one who's not pinned, right, got to give the other one head. And then that's when they go through what they call the tie that binds, and then that becomes the ritual when they get in. But a lot of these Blue Lodge, black so-called Masons don't think that shit is real because they have never got to that level. You know what I'm saying? I would never know if it's actually something that's actually done, but I know people who have told me that they have done it. So I don't know what they're going to lie to me for, but in that, I would know either way because I ain't going to participate in that.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with the theological seminary. I've talked to people, and see, I done looked at some of them preachers, and they look too dressed up and sissified to me. They look like a dick in their mouth, and a lot of them have that grease down their mouth, some flashy cars, and them suits and shit on. I can see a bitch on them. I know they got a homosexual shirt on, and they real flashy and have money. They're not impressing me, and they keep digging in these women's ass because soon as the woman see them, she starts on herself. Because when she got, I talked to some of the preachers.
That's right.
Know the deal, and other friends of them that church directors and musicians. One preacher told him that when they go to theological school, they actually teach them. They go to some scripture in the Bible. I'm going to get the name, or I'm going to give it to you. Say that, back in the day, it's not wrong to be a homosexual. You can actually be blessed. God will put a blessed spirit on you. And if you participate in homosexuality, that's how us preachers all get rich and we get money. So a lot of them niggas that you thought was straight, all of a sudden in theological school, they started letting them preachers fuck them in the ass. And they got a lot of money.
That's right. Why is it that all the choir directors be gay? What's up with that? Like, have you noticed that? Almost in every movie I've seen with black church or whatever, the choir director is always a gay man. Now, show and prove this. The choir director in the church that the president used to go to I forget this nigga's name, but he was a judge nigga, and he was gay. And allegedly, he was the patsy that they used to blackmail your man. The MI6 used to blackmail your man to do their bidding once he would become president. That was his initiation. They found this nigga dead, his head cut off, maybe 2 weeks before he got in. Just like the day before this nigga became president, his mama died. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The day before. No, so first his grandmother died, then his mama died. The day of him getting in. That ain't no coincidence, man. That's the same way when Michael Luther King, when they killed him, they killed his moms in the church playing the organ, and they drowned his brother in the pool. But you only hear about him. So where's their monument? Where's the King family monument in that? It ain't nowhere because they technically are still down with the nigga who did it. They still cool with Jesse. I could not be around somebody who told me, who basically was revealed through people like Steve Kogan and everybody else, that this man was complicit in my father's death. I don't know. These people are better than me. That's what makes me feel that it's all ritual. You see? Just like you have certain situations where you got brothers within the movement or whatever having sex with each other's wives and shit. Like, that's ritual. And both people involved in that have Masonic ties, then that's a Masonic ritual. Because that's a way of having sex with the man without necessarily the man being there. You know what I'm saying? There's also... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, this shit is so motherfucking deep that really the church ain't nothing but a big pussy in a damn womb. And that's why they keep that damn sissy choir director up there, because that's their damn woman and that preacher their damn man. They're going to have a flaming choir director. They got to have them play their roles in there and them sissies singing, because that's a part of the oath. They got to uphold the oath. And while they recruit them little boys and while they keep them dumbass bitches asleep up there, you can see them up there in them videos running up to Eddie Long, getting him $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 up there high. He got a lot of wealthy black folks at New Birth, and them women keep him going. They uphold him, and all these other preachers that's been caught in this homosexual shit. And most of them women are beards. Those women marry those preachers because they undercover dykes and they know he is sissies.
That's
But
right.
a lot of women like fucking sissies. A lot of women like having babies by sissies. So they have a prenup. They have a closet prenup agreement. Look, you marry me, you're going to get me pregnant a certain amount of time. I'm going to let you have your sissies. You got your room. I got mine, and we just going to play this role out in the front, and we're going to get this paper. We're going to trick these dumb hoes. We're going to let them turn our little boys over. They little boys over to us. I'm going to let you fuck them and act like I don't fucking see it. And if some shit come up, I'm going to stand by you and say you didn't do that bullshit.
So that's Will Smith, Jada Smith. That's Beyonce walking around with a fake baby in her belly. You know what I'm saying? Acting like she pregnant and shit. This is Gay-Z and the rest of these niggas. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, our black people, what I'm saying is that we are looking at all of the sexual abuse, all of the ritual abuse, all of the domestic violence, all of the violence against that mothers perpetuate to their sons, that sons perpetuate to their mother, blah, blah, blah. We are looking at all of these things as isolated incidences instead of doing the knowledge as to who benefits from this chaos, who is coming up while we are going down with all this bullshit. How is it that we are the beginning and the end of it all, but yet still we are still at the bottom of everything, but then want to act like we're on the top? When are we as original people, original conscious black people, going to accept the fact that this thing is a perpetual cycle of death and destruction of specifically melanated people? It seems like everybody want to carry or get behind a different cause. So you got some people that's down for domestic violence. You got some people that's down for, child abuse. Some people that's down for that. When all of these are symptoms of the same illness. What is it with us as black people that we are not realizing or don't want to accept the fact that this is actually all a part of some sort of satanic ritual abuse that has been generationally set on us, that until we acknowledge that that's what's happening, we're going to still continue to be in this mess? What do you think? Why do you think that they don't want to accept that?
Well, I'm sorry, but when I think of so-called black folks, I don't think of all of us as the same. I don't think of all of us as having the same bloodline. I think a lot of us are genetic mutations and degradations. We are not having the same, because black folks keep this shit going. It's a lot of black people, if they could change it today, they wouldn't, because they like preying on little children.
Yeah,
they like
it.
Yes, they like waiting until a little girl get ripe and bust her ass and have her sucking his dick when she about 2 or 3, when the mama at work, and teaching her how to bounce on his dick, 4 and 5 years old, with palm all in her motherfucking mouth. It's some people out here so sick, black folks, that women have had to kill these motherfuckers, or they ended up divorcing them or had them arrested because they've actually been the father of newborn babies. And the mama go to work, the dad is babysitting the baby. The mother's noticing that the baby's not drinking milk. The baby's crying all the time. His stomach hurts. The mom takes the baby to the doctor. The baby got a stomach full of cum. Where the dad is putting his baby's mouth and he's sucking and pulling like he's naturally supposed to do to eat. And they calming, letting this baby suck their dick at 3, 4, 5 months old, and sucking till he ejaculate in the baby's stomach, and the baby's stomach so full of fucking cum that the baby is sick and it cannot eat. It can't ingest anything. And one black lady found out about it, one that I was told about a few years ago. She was so devastated when she thought she went in a mental institute. The other black one went to the doctor, and they told her once they examined that baby's stomach that there was sperm in the stomach. She knew it had to be her husband's sperm. She didn't say nothing to him. She just went on home. She blew that fucking head off, which she was supposed bravo. This is supposed to fucking goddamn man.
That's right.
It's black folks like this. I'm sorry. I don't know you. I'm not related to you. We're not all from the same place. But that's why we're not all equal. That's why we all ain't gonna come up at the same time. That's how I feel about it in terms of all of the different incarnations of the movement. Like one thing I realize about this consciousness thing is that this is the first so-called movement in, let's say, modern American history, or since what they refer to as white supremacy has been the dominant faction on the planet. This is the first time in history that we have, in a sense, organized around something that is not specifically physical. You know what I mean? In this reality. So
the aspect of the ante that we have put out has upped it more. So what I see now is a lot of psychic traders and snitches, all of that coming into the game, in which the other day I had a client, brother told me, there's a brother in the community, he's done a lot of work or whatever, and he's written some very interesting books or whatever. So this brother goes to her, goes to this brother because he's having counseling problems with his mate. He goes deal with that. 2 weeks later, a month later, the brother who he went to help with the relationship counseling, he's sleeping with his woman.
Yep.
He done involved his woman in these different rituals and shit like that. Now the woman coming back to him possessed, telling him like, no, I got to be with him. He's saying that you're not really good for me and this, and that. So now every time he see the brother's ready to bounce on him. And I'm using that term brother very lightly. But as soon as he go and see what happened, whatever, that's when he basically bounces on him. So the other day, so I was speaking to the homie, and the homie was talking about returning him, like killing this nigga. But I'm like, nah, son, because there had to be something in the woman that wanted that from that man in order for her to just turn tails on you and just accept this man's penis and whatever else agenda, cutting chickens and everything else. Don't you know, the other day, maybe a couple weeks later, he called me and told me how the guy involved the girl in a ritual, and they was doing a ritual, and then the dude almost died because in the ritual he injected so much cow blood, right, that it almost popped his stomach or some shit. And then the girl, the same chick that he had to put in the ritual, had to help him go to the hospital and everything else.
So is she still with him?
You better stay away from that woman. Huh?
Is she still with him?
I said, that's what I was about to ask that, but instead I told him, I said, well, regardless to who or what, you need to leave that woman alone. Like, you would be a damn fool to go back to this woman now after she done shown exactly where her loyalty lies. Everybody got the right to choose who they want.
She don't want him.
She don't want you.
She don't want him. That's another thing I want to say, too, because some gay men have been telling me, when you look at these African men, they're supposed to be initiated in African indigenous history and culture and African dance, right? It's a lot of these African men that dress in African clothes, they married, and they teach the children the African dance. They have the African dance group. Well, a lot of them, you got to watch them with your children because they like to have them boys around and teach them African dance. And a lot of women think their children are safe because you got these African men, so-called, a lot of these men will tell you homosexuality did not exist in Africa. That's what white folks did. A lot of those men that teach an African dance and have these African schools like to fuck them little boys in the ass. And a lot of the gay men have been telling me they was going with the men, and they got wives, them African men that teach African school and African dance, sneak from different states or undercover in Atlanta, and they fucking men, and they told my friend that he get turned on because he told him, he said once he found out that he was fucking the young boys in his dance class and these black women trusting these people, these African men, teach African culture and shit, he said, I can't, that's sick to me. I like men, but I don't like those children. He said, so you fuck them the boys, I don't want to deal with them. He told him, I don't really care if you don't want to fuck with me no more because I get them young at 13, 14, 15 years old, so, and I ain't really got to pay them no money, so I'll just keep on fucking with them until he turn them on to look at them little boys in school, and then they gave us telling about these youth programs and these youth outreach camps and what these preachers have.
These communities, this Outward Bound, Fresh Air Fund,
that's all for some fresh asshole fun.
All
that's
that shit.
Is.
Boy Scouts,
fresh asshole fun. The fresh young boy booty hole fun. That's what that is.
Yep. It's baby mates at school.
Or get in the car late at night and they Benz or whatever kind of little car, tell their wives they got to go out and down the summer or go to the church, whatever. Them men go and cruise downtown Atlanta, downtown Chicago, all these different states. They go cruising and they look for them young boys that have been put out the house because they sisters and their mama turned them away. And they prostitute, trying to eat, get them a damn sandwich for the night or damn hotel room for the night. And you know, the bishop or the good reverend pull up And that's
right.
Boy,
the good doctor.
Want to get
good
in?
Reverend doctor.
You want to ride? You're hungry, young man? Feed the boy, counsel him, read some scriptures to him, tell him that he's a preacher and that he got an outreach program and that he'll bring him in and get him a room. Next thing you know, he's trying to force his behind in that boy's mouth and fuck the boy all in the ass just in exchange for a damn cup old noodles and a damn cheap room.
Oh, my God.
And go home to his wife and go preach.
Oh, my God. And this is what I'm saying. This don't have nothing to do. This don't have nothing to do. Look in there. People are putting themselves in a position to incarnate as many dark, I don't like using that term to describe people too, but as many horrible entities as possible. And they fracture the consciousness of the person that they're doing this to, of the individual that they're doing this to, and do it to such a degree that within any mind control multiple, they say within any given one multiple, there's at least 2,139 different alters. You understand? Now, the funny thing about that is that when you look up, how many people descend from what they refer to as the so-called New World Order group, it busts down to at least 2140. So for some reason, these families or these people are being chosen based upon ancestral bloodline thing. That's why the government. Why you think the government? It's like I don't understand people. Why do you think the government has everybody's birth certificate? First of all, because they know who everybody comes from, really. So why would somebody who stole your history for over 400 and some odd years, then all of a sudden in this era, create a search engine to help you find your true history? Why would they do that? Why would they do anything to help benefit you in your spiritual progress? Why would any of us believe that a society that was created basically to almost wipe away a memory of when we were truly ourselves, why would that same society now try to elect somebody who is, let's say, a black man as president? Unless he was somehow connected to them. And, of course, when you do the family tree, whether it's true or not, they say that he's related to all of them. You don't see no black niggas on that family tree.
No.
But, again, all of these white people married into our families between the 1400s and the 1700s. So we are just really seeing what happens when you let the lunatics run the asylum. And what I'm seeing, I'm tired of the mundane elements of arguments such as, okay, Occupy Wall Street's going down, right? This is exactly what they did. It's like mind control. This is exactly what they did in the 60s. It started with the sit-ins, right? And then from the sit-ins, it went to the marches, and then from the marches, it went to the protests, and then once they killed the leaders of the marches, it turned into utter chaos. And then what they did was say, look, these niggas going to destroy the whole country. So instead of trying to stop them, let's just give them money. Let's give them jobs. And then the boule look at that and say, okay, well, great. Now we finally in. Now we can start getting our money. Now we're invested in this society the way that it is. So we're going to do whatever you want us to do, boss, to make sure that it's all going down. And the tie that binds all of this shit together is this free Masonic Scottish Rite bullshit. And that's what it is. You cannot tell me that shit is going to make you more of a man than you working to be a man yourself. Albert Pike ain't going to tell you nothing because at the time that he was alive, he said the worst thing in the world is a Negro. He said, he said, if Negroes were let into white Freemasonry, I will stop being a Mason. And this is the same fucking white devil who started the Ku Klux Klan, who was a Confederate general at the same time, right? And at the same time, raped and killed black babies and black women in Scottish Rite rituals. So how is it then that this nigga now is the one that you got to, the picture that you got to kiss when you become a Scottish Rite Mason? So you a Nazi. So you a black man, you go through that ritual or whatever, you become a Nazi. So when you see Andre 3000 in a kilt, and you see Kid Cudi in a kilt, and you see Puff Daddy in a kilt, and you see Snoop Dogg in a kilt,
These niggas ain't Irish. These niggas ain't Scottish. They joining a Scottish right order, which means then that they have to have sex with children. That's part of the deal. And nobody want to act like that's what's really going on. And that's what I'm saying. What I notice when I look at the conscious community, I see a lot of people talking about a lot of different shit, but certain people only, very few people talk about it all. And you happen to be one of them, Queen.
You don't hear them talking about, not like me and not like you. They don't touch the homosexual shit. They ain't
which make me think they down with the shit. Which make me think they down with it.
A lot of meals.
You dig what I'm saying?
A lot of meals. And for what I'm seeing and I'm hearing, I got evidence of it because I'm talking to people behind the scene and I'm talking to gay men that be fucking with them. That's what I'm trying to tell you about the Sissy Committee. See, that's one thing, and I'm not being derogatory when I say the Sissy Committee. Them sissies, it's just as wussy bitches. Whenever
that's right.
It works. Sissy, not when a woman say it, because a woman might have some other reasons why she's saying it, but then again, she might be telling the truth. But I'm telling you, whenever sissies, over a long period of time, keep on saying that a certain nigga is gay or bisexual or trade. That's what one that'll say he's not gay, but he'll be gay for pay. That means he trade, because a sissy trade money with him to fuck him in the ass. That's a trade nigga. But you see him with bitches all the time. You see him with a girlfriend, wife, and children. If a sissy keep on saying, the sissy committee put it out on, the nigga probably a fucking sissy, man. He'll download, he bisexual, some kind of booty exchange and shit. Them went on some kind of way. He'll bust nuts with some niggas somewhere. Because them sisters they do treacherous shit. But most of the time, because they ain't going to risk getting shot or getting jumped and shit, most of them sisters ain't going to lie on no straight nigga and say me and him was fucking. That he come over here and I give him money and I suck his dick. You got to start and see, like I had said Saturday, a lot of women think they better than sissies, better than transsexual. A lot of them think they better than us because they got so much surgery. They feel like their ass is perfected, fake titties. They feel like because they look better in a lot of ways than us, they think they're better. So they won't talk to us and deal with us. A lot of women laugh at sissies and put them down, and when they twist them, they pick at them and they want to argue. I never do that. Because you don't know who fucked that boy in his ass like that. You just better make sure there ain't no nigga you laying with or finna lay with. Because some man that is not necessarily gay to turn that motherfucking little boy out or got that nigga wearing fake eyelashes going in fucking drag beauty pageants, dressing up like a fucking bitch or going inside. He going to get his dick flipped inside out, turned to a fake pussy. So these the women, we off our game. We not really wanting to talk to them and investigate this shit, and then that's what I have to do. And I look at these conscious people, so-called righteous people that have crucified me and talk about me, and I'm crazy, or y'all talk about fucking. Bitch, I'm not going through the same thing y'all going through. Ain't no nigga fucking me, and then going to fuck 2, 3 bitches, or I got to watch you take a picture with another bitch knowing you just got out of my ass talking about I'm your main bitch, and knowing you recruiting 20 and 30-year-old girls, and I got to deal with the humiliation of that, but then tell myself and tell my buddies, no, it's not humiliation at all. I'm the main bitch. I'm into polygamy. I practice that respect. And he don't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about himself. Because if he was really in order and he knew what kind of man he was and what he was supposed to be to you, he would have your fucking back. But these bitches got the backs of these niggas. They're taking care of, you're working, you're giving him your motherfucking check. You make sure he got a place to stay. He look good. You're doing his work for him. You're writing his books for him. You're doing speeches for him. But then you put his name out there and said that he motherfucking did it. And while you got his back, you don't know he bending over a nigga got his back too. You know what the fuck he doing. Ain't no way you going to tell me a nigga in love with me and he fucking other bitches and I know that you, wherever you go, I can't fucking trust you because whatever bitch with a fat booty and a smile, you going to try to go and recruit that and get me to help you do it. So a lot of these bitches is really helping interview hoes for they nigga. Because you say that we need to be with a black man, and a black man can't be faithful, so we need to be in polygamy, so the nigga ain't going to ever be faithful to your pussy, because he can't be faithful to his motherfucking self. This is the nature of a man, but he's supposed to be the first god on the motherfucking planet, and I am supposed to co-sign and help interview young hoes for you? That's what a man is? That's what a black man, I'm sorry, I'd rather deal with somebody outside of this race before I accept that. As my man, I can't fucking trust you. You'll embarrass me and bring shame to my household. You bring different bitches to the door, babies to the door, and you say that this is a wholesome, balanced, natural, African-based household? I can't trust you to do business with you. Because if I take you on a trip with me doing a lecture, you're going to be fucking home at the fucking audience. What kind of fucking shit is that?
Or some groupie shit.
And they talking about me? And then I ain't this and that, and I'm mentally ill. I'd rather stay over here in the Looney Farm. I'd rather stay over here. Because ain't nobody doing me like that, and I'm not doing myself like that. I see what the fuck is going on here. And these bitches up in this shit, and these niggas trying to bust them in their asshole because that nigga done got busted in here.
Oh my God.
That's why he know how good it feels. Because a lot of these niggas is fucking themselves, fingering themselves, still doing themselves, and letting another nigga eat their booty hole.
Oh my God.
And digging their ass, and they say that shit is spiritual. And it's conscious. It's not, you're judging, Alexyss. You're a hypocrite. You're judging.
You're judging people, Alexyss. You can't do that. You're supposed to be multicultural.
It's spiritual.
You're supposed to be multicultural. You're supposed to live and let live. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just let all the people do that. You're supposed to be apathetic. You're not supposed to have no real opinion about nothing. You know that. Because the new shit in the conscious community, they got people under such mind control that they making people think that you can't have a thought that may not manifest from a positive place. The way that some of these people talk, if you have one negative thought, then you're not positive, you're not conscious, you're not aware, you're not involved, you're not really doing it. But these are the niggas that have the most to say. The people that have the most rules and the most things about consciousness are the ones that are doing the most bullshit, man. Just like in the political industry. Whoever is the one that's coming most out about gays is the one that's totally with it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. That's why in business, when you do shit with business, those people who are into business and stuff like that, there's codes in that. If you working with somebody and y'all started a business together, you better call that man your associate. Because if you call that man your partner, what that says to somebody in Western society business, that means that y'all lovers and y'all started a business together. So this means that you could be trusted, which means probably if y'all lovers and you started this business and you refer to me as a partner, this must mean then that you down with the order. Regardless to what order that is. Why these people don't realize that the only people who ride around with Masonic decals and that shit on their car is black men, black people. White people don't do that. White Masons don't do that. Asian Masons don't do that. Egyptian Masons don't do that. Black people are the only one because they want to identify you first because they know that most of us may not be with that shit. But those of us that are supposed to get little special privileges and help in doing certain shit, when really that has nothing to do with what's really going on. What's really going on is you got post-humans trying to infringe upon the right of the original so-called man and woman and child. And they are trying to pervert our image into something that we are not, to justify and say that we have descended. Therefore, we should receive the same judgment that these niggas get. And you know what? If anybody is down with them and want to do it that way, then they're right. I'm not down with that. I don't agree with that. I don't feel that you should identify someone based upon their sexual preference, and that should be the prerequisite to get you involved in some shit. I don't believe or I don't feel that it's right to negate somebody just because they may not want to be down with your group. I don't believe or feel it's right to be in a situation in which people feel that they're smarter because they can put on a little apron and wear a little fake hat with some fake jewelry that they only could wear amongst each other. But then when they get outside, they want to call everybody on the outside of that little club a profane. Because, you know, that's what they call us. They call you profanes when you're not in that little club shit.
And in a way they're right. Because if we're not down with them, like you said, we are against them, and they feel they know a higher knowledge and a secret. And it truly is a secret with this bullshit that they've been doing, and I'm glad it's coming out, and we have to expose it. But what I'm telling you, this is not physical warfare. sitting out on Wall Street, you won't see my motherfucking ass in no Atlanta protest, Atlanta City, because I'm keeping that right there. Something ain't right about that shit. And I don't know who the fuck that is sitting out there.
Niggas want ops. They want it to be seen on TV. They want to look like they involved with some type of movement and all of these. What the fuck is Russell Simmons doing down there? What the hell is Kanye West? What you doing down there, nigga? You part of the shit. You part of it. All of y'all is part of it, and now everybody want to pop it off in every state in the world. But what's going to happen? Ain't nothing going to happen from that. Ain't nobody going to see that. What they don't understand is that the word occupy, how they're using it in that context, is a ritual, is a code. The first three letters of that word, that the way that they're using it, because if you notice, they always use it with the pound sign in front of it. The way that they're using it is as a mantra. The OCC, right, represents occult. It also represents occidental, which means to come from the top. So in cartography, you have what's called the Occident, and then you have what's called the Orient. The Occident would represent everything above the Creator, the Orient, everything below the equator, right? So when these people create their little fake rituals, when you get in, you agree to become part of what they call the Grand Orient, or what they call the Occident, which means that you are privy to the secret that they literally turn the map upside down. So how regular people look at a map is mind control. You understand? Because all civilizations start in the South. That's why the South had to be broke during the Civil War first, because all true civilizations begin where it's hot. If everything started in the North, if everything was created the way it was, then we'd have pyramids and all that shit in Alaska. All that shit is down here. So that means technically then that Florida is at the top of the country, New York and that is at the bottom. You did? Therefore, people's consciousness has been oriented to look at the world in an skewed vision. Therefore, as it's been skewed in the vision aspect, hold on, I'm changing right now. Because they've done it in the visual context, they've created a situation now where people believe that the world is the way it appears. So again, the first part of that, Ox, represents that. The U represents me and you, right, specifically, but also universe, but it also represents the symbol of the 13th zodiac, which is the symbol, which symbol is a U with a squiggly line going through it. And then the pi is the pi, the actual pi symbol that they use in equations, that when they use it in equations, that is always the symbol in the mathematician or mathematician rituals that always applies to us. But when I say us, I'm talking about those of us that's activating on this level or on higher levels of melanin consciousness. So to occupy means that they are basically literally changing the direction, the orient, in you quantumly in the form of the pi symbol. Also, pi representing the American pie, or piece of a pie. Remember, American Pie was the mind control movie where the boy was putting his penis in the pie, having sex with the food, who they had the situation where it was always some type of gay joke or some shit going on. This is what they are doing. And so they get hip-hop people, celebrities, to come down there and make you think that you'll see one of these niggas down there, right? But every other day you seeing police literally out there beating people to death. They said one thing, woman asked the police direction, she just straight hooked off on it, knocked her out, then arrested her. So again, they're leading people to the slaughter.
Yeah,
this is exactly what I was saying Martin Luther King. I'm sorry, to go back in history.
I believe here some other shit, some virus shit, some other fucked up shit going on. While they got your ass distracted with their Occupy Wall Street shit, while they out there putting Band-Aid, wrapping motherfucker ankles up with gauze and getting their ankles packed open and giving them some damn soup and shit. There's some other shit that they plotting that people really need to be watching, and then watching, like you told me, the new movies that's dropping. To see what they took. I seen a month or two ago they said it was going to be a virus movie coming out talking about how this plague was going to spread around the world through people traveling on airplane, airborne.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's called Contagion. I'll send it to you. I got the book.
And see, that's what I was telling you about this thing that I'm seeing going on here with this homosexual shit and this lesbian shit, because we shape-shifting, and that transhuman shit they saying is real. But it's on another level because you got a lot of, they done open up some type of vortex in this motherfucker. And you see all these entities and these female spirits. There's one I seen. I'm going to ask you about it when we get off this show to see if you know who this hoe is. Because I seen her last night and I got her name. I want you to look at it first. We'll begin with a P.
Okay. I'm going to do the now.
And she real, see, that's what I'm telling you that go on because I done talked to gay people. And one of them tried to take me over because I've shared my life. You know, I used to first be in a lesbian relationship and then got some dick and got real fucked up. I said, I ain't no damn back at all. So I'm like, okay, I was caught in the middle. But now I don't deal with women like that. I don't want to.
That's right.
And I learned what I needed to learn from that experience. But one thing I learned, because my mother didn't pay me any attention, didn't have a father around, my grandmother was there doing the best she could. I remember here, when I was a little girl, about 4, 5, 6, this spirit would come to me. And it stayed with me and walked with me for years, for a long time. And this spirit was male. And I would hear it real clear, like me and you were talking. That, when I was a little girl, that spirit was a grown man. And it already had its own mind, its own agenda, and that thing tried to impose itself on me. So what I'm saying to you is this. That's why I don't think homosexuals and transgender men and women are crazy. They're going through some spiritual karmic shit and are like 2 or 3-headed people, spiritual, sexual, but caught in between realms, born in one body, or chromosomes and endocrine system off, but then also possessed by other entities and different gods or goddesses, or even disembodied humans that are trying to take on a body, and it depends on the psychic ability of the person to determine how integrated they become with that person. You can hear the orders clearly. I saw and heard this man, and he actually wanted me to transform myself and was actually encouraging me to sleep with women because it really wasn't me taking the essence of the women. It was this man becoming stronger by taking the essence through my vessel. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Let me add on to that. Now, going back to the civil rights movement, and let's say around the time of the Black Panthers, right? Around the time that was going on, Hoover, who was a transvestite, right? Who grandfather and them, great-grandfather and them was black and all of that, who was a self-hating male, per se. He was obsessed with the black man rising to his ascendancy, so much so that the mandate for the FBI was to stop the rise of the black messiah. So what they started doing with certain groups and individuals was they started targeting them and their family and their children. They started doing specific rituals to impose the fear factor in the mind of the child that was to be born, who was the pre-revolutionary, right? So in case of Fred Hampton, they killed him, right? They ran up in him and shot him in the bed with his pregnant wife, you know. Same thing they did. Remember when they did with Elian Gonzalez when they ran in the crib and put the gun in his face and pulled him out the house, remember?
Yeah.
Same thing they did with Tupac Shakur, bless the dead, when his mother, Afeni, who was in the movement, was locked down. She wound up getting caught up in drugs. So all the Panthers that they began to lock up and all of that were the ones that they began to isolate their children. So in that, Tupac was germinated in jail. They operate in the system as a uniform factory. So when you come out and a child is born growing up feeling like it's in jail because the womb that it existed in was locked up before it incarnated. So talking about Tupac, he used to say that he had a little man that used to walk with him, and he was with him and was protecting him basically his whole life. But once he got shot, he said the little man was gone. And then that's when he basically descended, and right after that signed to death row on toilet paper, something that you wipe your ass with, right? Ritualistically signing him to death row, literally putting him on the path to death, right? So that way he can become the row, meaning the one who jumps into the boat of the ferryman
who takes you across the river Styx into a mentor. But a mentor, what I'm thinking is that a lot of these entities and these things are manifesting from a realm that Kabbalists deal with called the Shekinah or the Shekinah realm.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can imagine, and allegedly this is a realm of perpetual unhappiness and sorrow, and allegedly it's peopled by, if you can imagine, an entire planet of broke down, unhappy, beat up, downtrodden women who are crying constantly, so much so that their wails become demons. And those demons can then enter the Malkuth, which is the kingdom, the physical realm, through the sphere of what they call it, your life, Yesod. So this would be the sphere right above the sphere that this reality comes into existence in. And so they're bringing these things down through Jacob's ladder, which is another version or another way of talking about the DNA. Ladders, stairs, elevators, bridges, all railroad tracks, all of these things represent DNA. Ropes, tassels, all of these things represent the DNA lattice in the two-sphere coming together. So their whole purpose is to pervert the creator, the creatrix in the form of the original man and original woman, original child, to then create almost a three-card Monty effect where you have the original, the fake, and the real fake or the real demonic. That is now you have to choose which one you're going to procreate with. Just like mimicked in this world, this country that we live in terms of it calling it the United States. The United States is a term or word of art that can basically mean three or several different states that exist within this one place. So are you a citizen of the United States of America? Are you a citizen of the United States of America and General Congress assemble? Are you a citizen of the territory? You see what I'm saying? You have all these different things. So if you don't know which one you are, you give an allegiance to one version of it, and this version of it, you are its slave, or worse, its food. You know.
That's what I'm trying to say. See, that's what I'm seeing is the problem with us as so-called black women, the indigenous women. And I really want to do some workshops around this because nobody's doing it. Nobody's talking about it.
Nobody's talking about this, man.
Well, I guess they're not seeing it the way that I see it, and I'm glad I had those experiences because I understand these people are going through. And I talked to some gay men, and I'm telling you what I noticed. A lot of these gay men are very feminine, but they walk with spirits on them, and they're very psychic, they're very creative, very talented, and they hear some spirits. And they even one told me about a week ago when I told him that experience, he said, really? That happened to you when you were little? I said, yeah. He said, the same thing happened to me. I was a little boy, and I was playing, and I said that I felt like a woman. And he said this lady appeared in front of him. She shape-shifted in the room. She said, you do? Let me possess you. Let me get inside of you. Make yourself a woman for me. I'm telling y'all, this shit is real. And then the media.
So what about those women? What about those women who will be in a heterosexual relationship with their man, but then they'll have a gay best friend, and then they'll let the guy he'll come over and hang out with them or deal with them or what's up with that? What?
Well, you have a lot of women that have compassion for gay men, and the gay men are not threatening to them because they're feminine. They feel like the man is going to be harmless, and he could be like a friend, a comforter, somebody that can hang out with and trust him because he's gay. He don't want to fuck you. He might want to hang out and look like you and do things you do, but if it's a gay man they feel is not trying to compete with them or threatening or take their man or steal things from them or just try to copy them and then leave them, a lot of times they'll have them there, and a lot of times some of these women are so twisted, they freak themselves, they fag hag, they'll fuck a gay nigga. And they will see if their nigga will fuck a gay nigga. And they will actually they'll go behind their nigga back, kind of have a little agreement with the sissy to see if he can entice their nigga or watch they nigga around the man to see if they nigga will give off a certain vibe or fucking gay tendency that he might be trying to suppress.
Right. That makes sense. So, is it the same? Do they do? Because I see then when it comes to certain women with other women around them, and they won't even have that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't.
Like if another woman is friends with another woman, like certain women are very possessive with their men, where they don't feel like any other woman should be around them like that.
And I don't blame them.
To me, that's some. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't blame them. Why would I? Why do every woman need to be around a man I'm fucking, or that I'm putting my eye on that I want of her? I don't get it. Well, what's the necessity? It's none of her fucking business. And whatever I do with him, you see what I'm saying? I realize I got two lives. I came home to go to the grocery store. People see me and they run up and grab me like we sisters, and they act like they know me. And they feel real comfortable, but then after I sit there and talk with them, okay, I see you, here's my number, you need to call me, you want to talk, want a consultation, want some help stuff, you can call me, but then if I got my man here at the house, I'm not that cool with you like that I'm finna see you to come around here. You're not finna switch your ass around. I mean, for what? It's not, and if you want to say it's jealousy, insecurity, whatever, so be it. I really don't think every woman needs to know when you fucking your man, how you fuck him, how y'all suck, what he like to do, what he like to eat, what day you cooking it, where y'all going, is he in the bed sleep. That's why these dumb hoes get fucked around on. If you want to bring the bitch over, and he want to do a threesome, so I don't want to get nobody in the street, so I'm going to get my girlfriend. And then he want to fuck your girlfriend. Then he starts to fantasize. See, I'm just fine. If he's a hoe, fine. You can't stop from being a hoe. That's what I'm saying. But if I got a man that it's just you and me, and you want to be with you, it's just you and me, why do every woman that I know have to come over here in the private domain? I could have me and my nigga. I just, that's not appropriate to me, and that's when problems start, because you don't know what's on that bitch mind.
That's true.
I know women who will come in a woman's house. Sisters and men will do this too. They act like they love you, and they're your frenemy. See, they admire you, but they jealous of you, and they kind of got hate for you at the same time because you got what the fuck they want. All them niggas done left them with 2 or 3 babies. They miserable. You know, they got money and looks in the career, whatever. They done had 3 or 4 abortions. They know nigga, all niggas done ran through them. And they see you find out all the shit you done been through, the same shit they went through. You got a nigga that really wants you, and you really want him. You ain't playing him for no money, and then he ain't playing you for nothing. Y'all really got something that y'all can fucking build on. She hang over there. Meanwhile, the bitch always got to go to the bathroom. Bitch needs some water. She gotta walk around. You don't realize this woman dug in her pocket, sprinkling all kind of damn juju juice and damn all kind of shit around. Next thing you know, trouble has kicked up in your house. Problem with your nigga. And women, I don't give a fuck. You can believe me or not. You ain't got motherfuckers believe me. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. A lot of these women, if they'll think about it, and some men will try to tell these bitches, keep that woman not around here. That woman's not your friend, and that woman's jealous. Don't listen. No, you just don't want me to have a friend. You just don't want. Next thing you know, the woman and 3 or 4 of her friends done talked this hoe out her drawers to go fuck another nigga and go to the club. Made sure it got back to her man. Now the nigga done left. But she done did some ritual shit, but she done made some sympathetic magic contact by dropping this shit around your fucking house. Or dropping in your bathroom. Oh, girl, can I go to the bathroom? I know I'm down here in the South. I know where this shit goes. I done seen it to see. No.
That is the syncopated magic context. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. The enemy, referred to it as transsyngothic or Gothian magic, which is all the same thing. But essentially, what you're saying is absolutely true. And another thing, I think, going back to the history, because this is always about why you don't know where you come from, because then in this reality, if you don't know who your enemies are in the past, then in this reality, that enemy may know that you was his enemy and befriend you in this reality just to fuck you over. Okay? So you got people who do things to you just in case y'all don't be cool in the future. That's the sort of thing with Method Man. He was talking about, sometimes, I'll take somebody, don't ask me to go get you nothing, because I'll go and I'll go to the, get you some ice water or whatever and rub the ice on take some earwax out, rub the ice rub it on the ice and then put it in your water or rub the ice on my balls or something like that. I said, oh, he's got the type of demon in him that needs to spread its genetics to infect and bring everything down, vibrationally down. The same way a fly has to vomit on something before it eats it. It has to soil it before it ingests it, because anything purely ingested will kill it. So they got to get you to reduce your vibration, reduce your frequency, reduce your standards, your morals, your character, your integrity, to be down with it just because you want to be on the level or you want to be seen in a certain light. And it's ego. It's an ego demon that's being fed through things like Facebook, through things like movies and everything else that everyone is participating in. So when we choose not to participate in it, we now look like the odd man out, because we are talking about the apparent obvious. It's obvious that this country cannot sustain itself based upon the decay of the soul of the country. Even some racist-ass white people, Hicks, Klansmen, or whatever, some of them niggas got more integrity than some of these niggas that people are worshiping as they own people every day. Yeah. That was the plan. The 1,000-year Reich was not to turn everybody into an Aryan physically. It was about creating that as the archetype of God to imprint on the mind, to reduce the melanin power of the individual or the people, so that way they could base their melanin and genetics around the archetype of the calcified pineal gland people, so then they could become more inhabited, so then they could become more morally derelict, and so then they could become easily manipulated as vessels for the agenda of the thing that we really are in a fight with. It ain't these people we seeing. And that's why they worship these people. How can you be a Christian, right, for instance, but then you're going to go and try to be on American Idol? I thought idol worship ain't that one of the commandments? Ain't that one of the things you ain't supposed to be doing? So you want to pray, you want to get Jesus' help for you to win American Idol. You want Jesus' help to become God in the devil realm. This is how sick people are with they whole thing, because they're thinking in the mind frame of a modern context based upon the lack of understanding of where they come from. There was a sector of Caucasian women that they refined called the Daughters of the American Revolution, and they created something called the Dar Manual. And these Masonic Easter Star white women basically were used to go into, because they were already harem slaves of these Moorish conquerors and these Moorish dominions and stuff, the white men went to them and said, I will make you God in my reality if you go and break these people down from the inside by having babies with them. So the same way we were creating breeding programs to create a certain type of white person, they was doing the same thing to create the Negro. And in that, she was used as the prostitute, the harlot of Babylon, to come in and seduce the young princes and the young men to have her baby, so that way the line of the family could then be bleached out in the future. And that is exactly what's happened today. That's why you cannot have a Rothschild without an old Bavarian black family called the Red Shield. You cannot have a Windsor without the Kohlberg-Sachs-Gotha, and before then the Wappenheim. And if you go online and look up Wappenheim, and the crest for them, you see a big black face, a big black head with an earring in the nose that symbolizes the Moors that were dealing with Caucasoid slavery. So the Daughters of the American Revolution were used as almost holy prostitutes, as Magdalens,
right? This is where the whole shit got twisted with that. Magdalene to then go into these families, bleach them out, and then flip the ritual after the slavery thing, in which now they would have their babies, but now their babies would be nursed by the black woman. Again, flipping the genetics psychologically and mixing it up genetically to keep the original archetype of God off balance. So nobody could tell me that if you love who you want to love, I'm not talking about the emotion. And I'm not talking about even the color of the person. I'm talking about the political agenda. If you believe that woman is white and she believes she's white and you believe that you are black and come from a slave, then you are both in a situation where you have to realize that you are both under the same illusion. Yep. And the illusion is you are trying to unite something that was set up for you to do so based upon a lie. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. This is why the black feminist movement was what came in through the civil rights movement, through women like Nika Giovanni and Alice, what's her name, Alice Walker, and the rest of these black women, Angela Davis, all these black women that became dykes and who were really political implants from the beginning, CIA from the beginning, who went in there and had these people's babies and fought for white women's rights. So that this created the Head Start programs where all the black women became maids and had to go get jobs and leave their kids at home with welfare and then go raise the white women, while the white women could go out and then cruise the ghetto and have sex with all the black men or whatever else through the music industry and everything else. And it's still going on. It's the same situation. Nothing has changed. So where's the progress?
It works because now the black woman is willing to become more like
exactly. She's willing to become that.
But you don't make the white woman uncomfortable, because we don't want to make the white girl uncomfortable. And white women want to be around us. We should be also thankful that they want to be around us. So we should just want to just fucking suck they pussy or some shit. No. You want to be around me.
Yes.
And I'm allowing that, and it's cool to be around you too, but don't get it fucking twisted.
But again, if you are coming from the perspective of the color, you coming with the color because you're a Caucasian person.
But I say
you're
that.
Born
but I
to
say that because I have mad cool white girlfriends, mad roommates in college, mad cool, and it's all the same shit.
Yeah, but where they at now?
College is done, I'm gonna go to the nigga neighborhood. You're gonna go to the Upper East Side, and the two shall never meet.
And that's
what happened. And it's just to keep it real. Like,
I'm not saying that I can't be up there because I
don't want to be up there.
But I can't. No, not only
I don't want to when I have a choice.
Right.
I'm in college. I don't have no choice. It's a fake illusionary reality.
And I'm going to use the reality to get out.
Right. But once I'm out, now I could be amongst my people. If that's what I choose to be, then allow that to be. If you want to really fuck with me, then come to the black neighborhood. And guarantee you, if they got white families, they give a fuck. They're not going to be in your black neighborhood.
No, but they're going to be listening to your rap music, calling you nigga, and making records about it.
Fuck out of
here. And getting other black people, crazy black people, to come on the TV and co-sign it.
I call them the black girlfriends out of the person. I'm just an accessory.
That's always the one black girlfriend that you see in the movie, where it'd be like 5 white girls and then they got like this one black girl.
That was me. That was fucking me. That was me. And I knew the whole fucking time these bitches really get a joke. But black bitches do that shit to get their little fucking weed, because that's why I did it in college. Great smoke, for easy shit. Black bitches giving me a headache while I'm not becoming an AKA. At least those white bitches will pick me up in the middle of a fucking snow and do shit for me. They just want to show me how down they are for me. How down.
And I'm going to use that to come up. The same way their ancestors did the same thing to me. And nobody wants to deal with that shit. And that's why they create all of the sex ritual and the other stuff to confuse the overall issue. And the issue is a lot of people like this world the way it is, especially those people who speak so much out against it. A lot of them like it like this because it gives them something to do. You have certain people who just wait for movies to come out to have something to do. You have certain people who wait for other people to do things to then have a basis of or acumen to set a pseudo standard to. You have people in your own life who mimic you so much that you don't even see it. You don't even see it. That's why, as we're closing out, actually before we do that, wrap that up, Alexyss, tell them what's going on with you in Baltimore.
On Sunday, December 18th, 2011, I will be doing my lecture, The Resurrection of the Goddess and the God, in Baltimore. You can see that video, just a preliminary one. I'm going to do one soon. You can see it on my YouTube page, and you can see it on my events page on Facebook. You can RSVP or actually get your ticket early for that event.
It's going to be fire.
My natural hair care products. The people interested in my natural hair care products, they can contact me at alexyssktylorvp@gmail.com, and they can look at some of the items I have in my store at alexyssktylor.net.
Indeed. Thank you, man. What I was going to just say to wrap it up was that essentially it's this whole new age green movement, progressive, Occupy. These are all buzzwords and hype that represent hyperdimensional locks on consciousness that they want you to get yourself involved into to keep you on a basic material level and not get you to see the fact that you are a multidimensional, multifaceted, multi-arranged, multi-sequential individual that has no real beginning or end. But for some reason, we chose to be here now to learn something to bring back. The people that we are against are not trying to go back. They just want to keep this thing exactly the way it is, but they want to get it to the point of utter desolation, and then whoever's left, they then are the post-humans now, or the transhumanists now, or the people who the Guidestones in Georgia was created for to now go to and say that from now on, this was probably left by the intelligent culture that existed before, so we got to keep our population down to 500 million. We can't get no more than that on the whole planet. So that means we got to start to practice infanticide and all of this human sacrifice and murder and massacre all over again. That's what these people want. That's what the Venus Project is. That's what Scientology is. That's what they're trying to merge the Scientology Nation of Islam thing together now and turn it into that. But they mad at me because I know how to read cards and know about the Zodiac. Like, well, what's going on? Elijah Muhammad never talked about voting. Malcolm X never talked about voting. These niggas never talked about that. The people who talked about that was the Boulets, the Douglases, and these abolitionists was not white people fighting for black freedom. These was white people fighting for their own freedom against black people that was enslaving everybody. But not when we say black people, I'm talking about specifically our ancestors, not them people in Africa, not them people. I'm talking about us as the base genetics for all of that to take place. So it got to end up with us, the Asiatic black man, us, the Moab, the True, the indigenous, the Autochthon, the Tamuankan, the original, us, God's people. Not because I say that, not even because we believe that. It's what it is. The only reason why we got to even be talking this shit, why Alexyss can even come to the show, to be the only guest to be on, for everybody out. Think about that. For everybody out, for as long as we've been doing this show, for you to be the first and only formal guest, that says a lot. Non-blood, you know what I'm saying? That says a lot about not only how I'm viewing the present circumstances that we're all involved in, but the fact that shit is so treacherous you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I know based on what is being said. And the truth is what God loves. So, you know, with that, it really is an honor and a pleasure for you to come through and hold it down like you did in this whole 4 thing. And we'll definitely be building more on this whole anti-life campaign that's going on through this transhumanist let's all be gay thing. You know what I mean? It's real, and it needs to be said. And women and men, boys and girls, well, those of us that can handle it, and even those that can't, need to get into it, because this is where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with us. It ain't going to start with nobody else. Oh, but none of these people will save you. The Occupy Wall Street movement ain't doing nothing but occupying your time and your energy into something that everybody has already accepted is a failure. So if they're not trying to do anything, they're showing you that while they're occupying it, they're beating up people, locking people up, throwing them downstairs, punching them in the face, all in a so-called free protest. You are not. They're showing you that, yeah, you can talk your shit, but I'm still controlling you. And there are black cops doing that, white cops, Indian cops, Chinese cops. It's everybody.
And I'm sure they passing some laws or writing them up while we distracted with this shit.
Yeah. They're making another law to make it harder for you to protest now, just like they're doing it harder now in Wisconsin to vote. You gotta almost give them a quart of blood to vote now. They're trying to keep this nigga in there because now they got the other one on the wings coming up, acting like he different. But I was watching him talk shit last night, and when he started talking about his influences was Clarence Thomas, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. I knew you looked familiar.
Okay.
I knew you looked familiar, Clarence. You incarnated as Herman now, huh? Okay.
Well, you know, he's one of their initiates. He's one of the boys. He's connected to them power groups. He's one of the bow down.
Yeah, he quit to say he was a slave. He said Barack Obama ain't no real black man. He said he ain't go through slavery like my family did over here in America. He quit. He like, no, I was a slave. Like, he's quick with that shit. He's like, no, I'm a real black man. This is his whole thing because that's what we saying. That's what we saying on the shows. On your show, my show, everybody's show. We saying, no, if you a real black man act a certain way, the black man is the only being on the planet, and specifically in America, that do exactly what the hell he wants. He don't try to get no job. He don't try to do nothing that is not what he want to do. And when he try to do that, he turn into somebody like Herman Cain.
Yeah.
So you could be blown up, but then Ludacris, when you get to a certain time, you got to shave them braids. You know what I'm saying? you know, you can only talk about certain things. So you can't really talk about crack, selling crack. You can only talk about it in an abstract. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah, David Banner was going in on them on 106 in Park the other day about this. But specifically speaking, you right, Queen. It's really about the fact that before we close out, what can, in your opinion, some things real quick that people can do to start to get their own stuff together so that way they can start dealing with everything else?
You know what? On so many levels, I feel that we're going to have to form circles. We're going to have to get educated on the things we were talking about, knowing who we are, where we came from, and really get into politics and see where everything is going and then prepare for this end time. We have to really learn about gathering our own resources, getting backup resources, even getting outside of these cities, getting our passports. There are a lot of things on the mental, emotional, spiritual, psychological, emotional, sexual, political, economic level that we really got to deal with. We don't have time. We're real behind. And so what I am seeing is we got to separate ourselves from a lot of people that ain't thinking like we are, saying we're crazy, we're conspiracy theorists, because I'm telling you, Aseer, I see, and I be peeping that shit with them white folks, they already got their militias. They got their weapons. They already hunting. They moved outside the city. They got their own generators. They got their backup electricity. They know how to deal off the grid. They got their solar panels. We don't. We looking at bullshit.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. And that's what we be saying. So what I'm saying is that we saying this, how come, and other people, obviously on the show, we got mad people on the show tonight, big up to the Super Heru family, what's up? How come this is not spilling over? Why are black people not taking this seriously? These people are not all abusing these kids the same way randomly. This is not something that people is just doing just because they crazy. People get crazy. People ain't necessarily born crazy. There's some people who have the crazy gene that develops into what they call an apoptosis gene, which is a gene that triggers cellular death
which then makes people into things like zombies. That's why zombie movies are so heavy right now and all of that, because that's the aspect of the progression of the decay of civilization. People turn into zombies.
You know what?
Something that
one more
happened.
thing I was going to say to you. When I was talking about how that spirit, embodies people, and if that person's weak, that spirit will take over them and assume its life through that person, how that person setting themselves up, taking home on all kind of shit. They put this shit out. One thing that I know you know, what I'm talking about when I'm going to say this, they will trigger that damn God and that goddess and that displaced spirit that embodied that little child, telling that little boy, little girl and shit, through cartoon, and they use the mermaid, man.
Yes.
They use that mermaid because that's a goddess right there. And then little boys see that shit. See what I'm saying? They activate it through the damn cartoon, the TV, and the damn image that they see. They use our gods and goddesses, and they flip them upside down, and they possess them images like that mermaid shit, and even that tuna commercial with that chicken of the sea. That's a god right there.
That's put them that's Yemaya. That's Yemaya Olokun, who's new.
And Olokun, yes. They will put them other deities, program it into the damn film and the cartoon and the image. You know what I'm saying? What's her
name? Olokun or Yemaya was married to a god named Inle. And Inle is a god who's the god of the fishermen, but he's also the god of healing and stuff. But he was very, very beautiful, so beautiful that men and women was in love with him, but he was heterosexual. So he got with her, and in that, they went to the bottom of the sea. So the legend says that he started to get bored because he's really from the land, because they met at the shore. So, and miss healing people and helping people. So she said, okay, I'm going to bring you up back, and I'm going to go back, but I got to take your tongue. So that way you don't tell nobody my secrets and where all of my jewels and everything is hidden. She was manifested as the mermaid when she did this. So, but I will speak for you when you speak to people. So this way I can be on the land with you. So that's a form of the water element being spoken through the earth element, right? Being manifested as a man, let's say, speaking with the voice of a woman, which is why he is worshipped in religions like Candomblé as a god, patron saint of homosexuals, even though he was not. You see what I'm saying? But he was so beautiful that he would heal people just because he treated everybody with equality. So within this now, in this religion, Candomblé, they worship him as God, the fisherman. So he's also Christ. But when you see him, he wears a hat with a fishing line in one hand, a fish on a hook in one hand with two snakes going around him like the caduceus, which then makes him caduceus, but then it also makes him Imhotep. You see what I'm saying? In Kemet, which now then creates why they want to use the homosexual template as the building blocks, right, through form of sex, which in the form is sex being sexual healing, or form of sex to then build this pyramid or tower of Babel into this new reality in which now we are just their genetic playthings that they use to perpetuate extend their life, but then we wound up being degenerated and turned into plasm for them to drink or eat or whatever. This is the reality that they have created for themselves and their people. And unfortunately, Caucasian people specifically are the inheritors of this, because it was a group within their genetic structure who chose to do this based upon the treatment and how we allowed them to incarnate here. So this is really a arrogant child or machine that has just run itself to the course now. It's trying to create other machines for us to deal with while it finds a way to inbreed with us so that way we can then accept its karma. This is how insidious and sick this enemy is. And niggas want to talk to me about what article we need to be able to get recognized or what? Like what? Like what?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They don't wear psycho-electronics on your ass. Psychic, electromagnetic field.
Psycho-electronics on your ass.
Well, yeah, they
have. Yo, that shit is crazy.
They doing it through the machines where they can project and lock into your damn mind from any. They got machines like that. All you got to do is program the person's name into the machine and tell it what kind of vibration or force field you want to send around a person, and it'll find somewhere in the damn world.
And if you don't believe us, next time you're on the train, next time you're walking down the street, next time you're on the bus, next time you're in church, next time you're at the funeral, look to see how many people on their cell phone, on their BlackBerry, on their Bluetooth, on their iPod, on their thing. I've seen niggas at funerals got to get out the funeral to speak to who's up calling. You dig what I'm saying? Like there's no waiting for things anymore. Everything is so instantaneous because we're moving into this fourth, fifth dimensional reality where when you pull the apple off the tree, the next apple will appear. So there's no waiting for nothing. But in order for us to truly achieve and how to integrate into that, we got to be in a pure enough form to accept the subtleties of how it manifests. So they want to bog us down and clog us up and pollute us up with all of their agendas, all their ideas, all their hatreds of us. We internalize that. We then go kill each other, and then what? So now, what out of everybody, like I said, out of all of the stuff that's been going on for us to build like this is, to me, is seminal. And again, I'll thank you as we close out because I see it's 11:07. And thank everybody in the chat. Thank you, all of your listeners, to Alexyss for holding us down for the past couple of days, and we definitely going to do it again. Tell you they're calling us the A-Team.
That's right. we got to do it live for them. They got to wait till we do a live lecture so they can come see it live.
It's going to be tight.
Okay,
man.
Thank you again for coming in.
Indeed.
Love you, Alexyss.
Love you,
peace, everybody. And please.
And bye, Amor. I love you more.
Indeed. He's asleep, thank God.
Thank God.
Good night, Queen. Yeah, it's pretty much like that, y'all. So anybody want to check out some of the new things we put up on the website, check out www.ISeerTheDucateers.com. Also check out www.superheruradio.com. Also www.numorishrenaissance.com. Also www.sagaasad.com. Big up to Saga Asad. He held me down today and rolled up with somebody who had our material hidden in a box under the whole thing. He took a picture of the homie and the dude ducked behind the thing. If you want to see it, it's on my Facebook page at Aseer Cordoba. So thank you for holding me down, and thank you for all of the people, ancestral gifts, who have been supporting us in our boycott bootleggers campaign, because it's real. People really need to respect those of us who put ourselves out there to do this type of work, and people really don't know how much it really goes into it, because there's no real formula in how to do this. So as we are charting new territory, we have to open ourselves up to new things, but things that will make us new instead of making us appear new. So again, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you again, the Empowerment Goddess, Alexyss K Tylor, for bringing her divine wisdom. Always how we do. And we'll see you Friday. Peace.